This video will investigate the impact of 4 key figures in the Catholic Church in Australia. Mary MacKillop's father, Alexander, was a Scottish theologian who arrived in Australia in 1838. Her mother Flora was also Scottish and arrived in Australia in 1840, where she met and married Alexander. They had 8 children, of whom Mary was the first, born in 1842. The children were educated at home by Alexander. Mary, as she grew up, took on responsibilities associated with looking after 7 younger siblings. Mary's mother instilled in her the idea that God will provide. At 14, Mary began working to provide for her family. At 18, she moved to Penola to be governess to her uncle's children. This is where she met Father Julian TENISON-WOODS, a priest at the local church. Mary shared with him a desire to educate others. With the assistance of Father Julian, Mary and her sisters set up St. Joseph's School in an old stable in Penola, which was later replaced with a new building. The school accepted people from all walks of life. It did not discriminate. In 1866, Mary and her sisters began wearing religious dress and followed a simple set of rules. Mary MacKillop founded the Sisters of St. Joseph, an Australian religious order, which grew quickly in the late 1800s. Julian Tenison-Woods was born in London in 1832. He moved to Australia in 1855, where he became a priest. In 1861, he met Mary MacKillop and assisted her in founding the Sisters of St. Joseph, to educate poor children and address other social needs. He became Director of Catholic Education and developed the system of Catholic schools in South Australia. Father Julian was a scientist as well as a priest, and from 1883 he spent 3 years travelling Asia, looking at coal and mineral deposits. When he returned to Australia, he was awarded the Clark Medal for his contributions to natural science. He died aged 57 in 1889. Rosemary Goldie was born in Sydney in 1916. She was educated by the Sisters of Mercy. She studied at Sydney University, leaving with a degree in English and French in 1936. She also completed a master's degree in Sydney. Whilst at university, Rosemary became an active member of several Catholic groups. She was awarded a fellowship to complete her doctorate in Paris, but when she got to Europe, she became involved in the Pax Romana group and became involved with UNESCO. Goldie became a prominent female member of the church at a time when it was dominated by men. She was one of only 2 female auditors appointed by the Catholic Church to the Second Vatican Council of 1962–67. In 1975, she took on the role of Professor of Pastoral Theology at Lateran University in Rome. In 2002, she returned to Australia, where she lived with the Little Sisters of the Poor until her death in 2010. Father Peter STEELE, a Jesuit priest, was a poet and academic born in Perth, Western Australia, in 1939. He was educated at Christian Brothers College in Perth before moving to complete his university education at Melbourne University, where he became a lecturer after completing a doctorate in English literature. He joined the Jesuits in 1957. As well as theologian, Father Peter was also a poet and published several collections of poetry. Father Peter helped to establish Jesuit social services. He died in 2010.